Come on! Oh my word! That is an absolute swindle. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will be taking you through two of my games that demonstrate the subtle art of the swindle, where we give our opponents a better position just so that we can come back and crush them, making them want to delete the app or at least click the X in the top right corner of the chess.com tab. So let's get straight into it. We had a Coricon, nothing special, except for the next move where I went for the cheeky alien gambit. You've got to try it, why not? We're here to have fun. Our opponent played a novelty, I suppose. I've never seen this move in my massive 19 years on planet Earth. But here we just developed the knight. We maybe could have pushed now, which is the best move. But just develop another knight, nothing wrong with that. And here I decided it's time to play the advanced Coricon. Our opponent got out his light square bishop and then solidified his pawn structure. Opening up his dark square bishop makes sense, logical. And here we got out our light squared bishop onto the juicy diagonal. Here our opponent played the critical c5 move, trying to undermine my pawn structure. So to counter that, reinforce with c3. And our opponent played the typical queen b6 in these lines. I tried to kick out the bishop. Our opponent rejected that idea and ran like a little good boy he is back to the good boy g6 square. And here let's not hang our bishop and trade. There's not really no other move. Just snatch that boy, best move. And then here our opponent took with the h pawn logically and preventing us from short castling, because obviously this is GG's. So here the engine decides, since short castling isn't an option, king f1, king g2 is our plan, where we keep the rook here unlike short castling, and we go for an f4 pawn storm attack on the king. And then here I played really not the best move, a4, third best move. Just trying to go a5, kick the queen out from this diagonal. And then here, you know, I was streaming, I was talking to my chat, I was a bit distracted. But all the excuses aside, other than this last one, where I got my lines mixed up, and there's a line in the French where my bishop's here, and I can let him have this pawn. And then I go knight f3 again, hitting the queen at the end of that line, if you can visualize it, protecting this pawn. And you go queen a4 afterwards, and there's a very interesting line where these pawns are on the g2 and h2 square. Just got my lines completely confused. Played this move to try and free up castling and just to continue attacking on this side and blundering the pawn. This is how this game is going to turn to swindle, because now we just are down a pawn. This move does nothing because he can take with check and we're down a clean pawn. So now he obviously has to move his queen, hitting, let's not hang another pawn. Just queen e2 to protect it. And the idea of queen e2 was just to go f4, because if I played queen f4, obviously I wouldn't be able to play f4 myself. So we really just played this simple plan, and my opponent did just win another pawn. There was no way to protect it, so I just went for a counter attack myself. And now I'm very happy I did play the best move here, and I'm very happy that this was the right idea. Go king f2 and you go king g3. Best move, and the king is just safe here. There are no checks. We can always block with our minor pieces if he does find a way to infiltrate. Opponent develops develops his knight. We develop ours, trying to get our bishop out as well. Our opponent sort of stopped our bishop from coming to the square it wants to. So we play bishop d2, best move. Develop the bishop and open up the c file for an attack. Our opponent maybe didn't find this idea because it's not too obvious to go queen b5 and just force a rook trade, open up his rook. And there's a sneaky trap here where if I go any of these, he cannot take this poison pawn because he all of a sudden is the one losing, and he's just down a piece. But in a blitz or bullet game, this really looks like a quick smash and grab. So instead of going queen b5 with this whole queen trade idea, our opponent went back to sort of defend, I suppose. The majority of our pieces really are on this side of the board, so this is where we need to play. Here the computer likes taking with the rook, but I did not want to trade and I was happy to play like this. Now here, see, a game like this, anything can happen. Your opponent, because we're the one with the initiative, he doesn't really have any way to directly attack my king. I'd got a bit confused and just played g4, thinking, oh, I can't take en passant, or that's fine if I take en passant. But I can take this pawn in two ways. One is much better. One is winning, one is losing. Taking with the knight is losing because it surrenders the d4 square, and all of a sudden his knight is in, his bishop's open, and we're the one with problems. But taking with the pawn just gives me two connected pawns, and I can try and run them down the board, and everything really is solidified and protected. Here our opponent went knight d4 anyway, but now I can just snap it off the board as I did. Any other move, like moving the queen, isn't too good because then he can go to the f5 square. So we trade, and now here, after he just blundered with g5, I blundered straight back. So I went here with my short vision, brain dead plan of just getting in and bombarding him and swinging the queen and the rook in, trying to attack him. And then on stream I was like, oh, he can just go b5, stopping and then have to come back, which is really ideal for white in this position. And he was clearly on the same wavelength because he did play, he ended up playing b6. But what we both should have asked ourselves was, what was this bishop doing on d2? Oh, it was guarding a critical pawn in front of my king, which would end up losing me the game if I lost this pawn, which you rarely would have. I don't think, even though this video is called The Art of the Swindle, I'm not sure I could swindle that one. Luckily, my opponent's same wavelength, and now I could bring it back, realizing, oh my lord, nearly lost the game. Now it's just dead zeros, completely drawn. My opponent could have got greedy because this comes with an attack. There was no need to be worried about anything like this. He could just come back and everything was alright. Instead, he just tries to solidify immediately. And now I saw this idea of, oh, if I can get b4 and forget about the king side, let's focus on the queen side. But obviously I can't make that move immediately. That's why queen g4 is the best computer move, looking this way and looking that way. I saw this move, but I was a bit impatient in my attack and played it on the next move and went for this immediately. Now here my opponent should have just snapped this off and played the lovely critical king d7, connecting the rooks, allowing nothing. I can't push this pawn. I have no threats. We're just in an equal game. However, my opponent played rook g8. A seemingly normal move. A seemingly fine move. I can't push. He takes with check. I can't take. I'm pinned. It looks to be lost, except for a critical queen g4 move, the move we just discussed. And the reason this move is so good is because the pawns in question, it protects and hits. And my opponent now took, and there's no way for him to get this pawn. Even if there is, I do have this reinforcement, odd-looking move. But all of a sudden, I'm the one who's starting to tighten the screws and start attacking him, because his king's in the middle and mine's a bit more sheltered. So my opponent, as I said, tries to go after this pawn and loses the game in one move. It goes from zeros to +8 for white. And really, this is the art of the swindle. You just put enough pressure, you play where your pieces are, you understand the art of defending and attacking, all in one culmination. It's one beautiful culmination. And he blunders a pawn, just like that G pawn was to me earlier that he could have taken. This time I take advantage, and now he's dead in the water. Where does your king go? If your king goes here, I can literally just gobble everything, to be honest. I can go bishop g5, I can take, win your rook. Everything is winning. My opponent goes, he blocks, and this is just dead lost. I can even go here and threaten to take with my bishop and then take his rook, but I play the quickest mate. Queen c6, hitting here and here. And now here, obviously, I could have taken blocks, and I take again, and that's just mate. What's more beautiful, I think, including all your pieces, is bring everyone to the party, and my opponent resigned because you are blocking with the bishop. I'm taking. It is mate in 3, and it is game over. So that was just a beautiful swindle from a -4 position. Positionally dead, positionally getting crushed, down 2 pawns. My opponent just threw it all. For the second game, it won't be a recap, but rather a clip from the actual live stream when I was playing on Twitch. And it just shows just how easy it is to swindle a 1900 with not necessarily the best moves, but the most difficult to handle. So let's get into it. And again, I'm going to take. And then take. You know, I want him to show it to me. Oh, okay. Now I am getting a bit cooked. Oh, I have this counter. The counter. Oh, yes. Well, shit, bro. Jeepers, buddy. I have nothing up my sleeve. What? He just took the pawn and dipped. I don't know why I didn't take the exchange. Let's see if we can swindle this then. His knight's actually finna kind of trap, bro. No ways. No ways, no ways, his knight's trapped. Oh my days, come on! That is so lucky. I mean, he really didn't deserve it after whatever he did. Unpin that boy right now. mate. Mate. Yes, baby! Come on. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. You guys are the real ones. And I would really appreciate you hitting that like and subscribe button and all that good stuff that will help the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Get out of here.